Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years, and today I have my special guest. He's the author of the book Havensbury, no other than Mr. St. Tangirala.
Hey Daniel, how's it going?
Welcome back. I'm not welcome. Welcome to Book 101, Mr. Asti. I'm very, very good like you. So, can you please introduce more about yourself?
Hey Daniel, thank you so much for having me on the show. My name is ST, and I am the author of the book Havensbury and also the author of the book Pineville. So Havensbury and Pineville are pretty much like there's basically book one and book two. They come one after the other. And I've started writing this book back in 2021, 2022, like Havensbury, and I've published it in late 2023, and I've done the same thing for Pineville, which is late 2024. So I have two published works on the forefront at the moment. I'm working on a third book, which is like completely different from these two, from the premise of Havensbury and Pineville, and that's where I'm at the moment.
Well, Mr. Asti Tangirala, thank you so much for sharing your talents to the world. So, you wrote these two books during the pandemic.
I would say the first one, yeah, during the pandemic. The second one was like well before. It was before I published the first one.
Yes, I read about your bio data on it. Yes, on uh, PodMatch. You said you're considering yourself as a polymath.
I would say I'm more like an aspiring polymath. I'm someone who likes to like try different things out there and see where it comes to. I mean, right now I have two books that I've published and a podcast.
Okay, so what? Tell us about your podcast.
So, my podcast is called the Next in Time Podcast, where I interview visionaries like yourself, and we just go into like the nitty gritty of what you're building, why you're building, and how you're trying to make an impact in the future with what you're trying to build.
Yes, how many years now you're doing a podcasting?
About 2.5, 3 years now.
Congratulations, being part of the podcasting world. So tell us, Mr. Asti, what is the central theme of Havensbury and how is it developed throughout the novel?
So the story of Havensbury is it's about a young student, a young prep school student who goes to prep school, and the premise about it is that he tries to be different from the norms of prep school, where he stumbles upon a homeless person on the outskirts of the prep school, like just like on the streets of the prep school. And that homeless person gives him guidance, wisdom, and gives him a outlook in life that is far different from his life at prep school. And he tries to build a venture that is a venture. Sorry, he tries to build a venture that in the end is very antithetical to the views of the prep school. And then that leads to a tug of war between the community of Havensbury and Havensbury Prep.
So, how does Noah Liebermann's character evolve from the beginning at the end of the story?
I would say beginning Noah is just is like a young student who doesn't know where he's going. I would say he's just a guy who has been through a lot of really bad circumstances in his life. You know, losing family members, but then moving from New York to Charlotte, and from Charlotte, and then Charlotte back to New York. His worldview and lifestyle has changed from that front, and because of that, his grades suffer, and everything just goes crashing down in his life with his family. And his parents send him over to prep school as a favor for the dad helping out the actual professor back when there were students and at the Wharton School of Business. So so that's kind of where so the main character goes through a bit of trials and tribulations of prep school, where he ends up in a very bad path, and as a result he gets saved by a homeless person, and that homeless person gives him that guidance and that confidence of, you know, there's a world outside the prep school that Noah can experience that isn't, just like the world of prep schools.
So, in what ways does the setting of Havensbury Preparatory Academy influence the narrative?
I would say Havensbury Prep is it's a prep school in a way where it has the elements of a traditional prep school with with the ways of operating in a more modern corporate sense. So it has like a mix of those two worlds, and that world is like you have to be like a world of an elitist if you want to be a part of a modern day elitist. And Noah is like the antithetical to the modern elitist.
So, what the challenges does Noah face at the Havensbury?
What challenges that Noah faces during Havensbury?
Yes,
I would say
and how
a
does
very
address them?
tyrannical like professor or like tyrannical principal, a uh, a setting where it's just a bunch of students just in like going into their books and doing their activities. That is not how Noah sees the world as, and he kind of ends up going into a dark path because of the fact that he can't really fit into that world.
So, how does Noah encounter with the homeless man serve as a turning point in the plot?
So he ends up in so he kind of goes if you want to go dark, he kind of goes through like a suicide, like he kind of like tries to commit suicide in the lake.
Is this is spoilers or what? One of the spoiler.
I don't know, but I wouldn't call it that, but it's just one way.
Okay. Well, anyway, what lessons about resilience and entrepreneurship does Noah learn from his mentor?
From his mentor, like what do you mean, like what lessons he learns?
Yes.
Yeah, he learns this. He learns a lot about like what's more important in life, which is community and family, and that buildup of people coming working alongside each other. That pretty much helps him, go, and that pretty much helps propel him into becoming a newer person.
So, how does the novel explore the theme of belonging within elite academic environment?
When Noah becomes the student, and then he has to set himself living inside these dorms, and he has to go to classes, and everything is just like it's full of students from all over the world. It's full of students from like the highest points of life, but they don't know a world that's beyond that world. And so Noah now is like now living amongst a new set of people that aren't like the typical students he was used to back when he was in New York.
So, in what ways does Noah challenge the traditional mindsets of those around him?
I think he tries to coalesce a lot of townspeople who have had their own town be more affected by the prep school, and it's like it kind of builds. He tries to coalesce a large community of Havensbury, going against Havensbury Prep, like where he when he gets into a certain bit of trouble, the people in Havensbury like rally around him and then tries to help him get through this tough situation.
So, how did you depict the impact of communal bonds and individual growth?
Sorry, what was that?
How did you depict the impact of communal bonds and individual growth?
I mean, it's a very complicated way of how I displayed it. It was more about like how Noah, he goes through a tough situation, but at the same time, he also starts helping out each community's businesses. That kind of helps solidify that bond he has with the community.
So, what the role does the principal play in Noah's journey, and how does the relationship evolve?
So Principal starts off as this guy taking note. So if you've ever seen, have you ever seen Dead Poet Society?
Yes.
So it's kind of like the main principal. It's like a mixture of the principal and one of the main characters' dads. His name is Neil. in Dead Poet Society. His father is like pushing him to become a doctor, right? So it
Yes.
kind of made that character of the principal kind of resemble those two kind of force. It's like the principal of Welton Academy with a bit of this guy's what does he call it? Neil's dad. So he's very hard on every student, but also he's open minded to the world. So it's kind of have that a modern, strict, traditional kind of principle, but with a bit of sensibilities of making it look more fun and cool at the same time.
More fun and cool, like Book 101 review. What are the key moments that highlight Noah's personal growth and development?
The key highlights that is when he starts helping out businesses in the area. He starts building a relationship with his girlfriend in at the prep school, and also him trying to grow from being scared of life to now being able to conquer life.
Amazing. And how did you use secondary character to support or hinders Noah's journey?
I would say there's the secondary characters of first of all, the principal is the main antagonist, where he gives Noah a hard time throughout. There is other students that other like fellow dorm mates he builds friendships with. He initially has like a rough relationship in the beginning, but then they start working together to build this venture in Havensbury. That and then at the same time he has other nemesis who are like all right, who just like try to bully him at prep school. And then also his parents and also his girlfriend. His girlfriend is like I say, his girlfriend is like a whiz student, and she's basically the top of the class and everything, but then she's feeling lost in life because she lost a friend due to some bad circumstances. It'll be displayed in the book, and then Noah becomes the focal point of really helping her, and then she helps him, and they build that relationship there.
So, what is the significance of the title Havensbury in relation to the story themes?
I mean, Havensbury, it's like the underdog town. So you have two towns, two places. You have Havensbury and you have Havensbury Prep. Like Havensbury is the town being the underdog that is trying to go against Havensbury Prep.
So, how does the novel address the concept of change within the rapid educational system?
Oh, sorry again.
How does the novel address the concept of change within the rigid educational system?
I would say it's like is the thing about schooling is that it's very rigid. It doesn't really you're only allowed a set of activities, and you're only allowed to study a set of subjects to be able to succeed in life. That is not how one person evolves and grows into a more stable, into a better person. So I would say it's kind of like it's just coincide, regardless of if it's prep school or public school or independent school, any kind of school. It's always very rigid and focused only a set of subjects and set of activities. And what if let's just say if there's a student who likes to fly planes or likes to explore other who likes to drive other things, like he's basically stuck at school and he can't really do those kinds of activities. So it's like it's showing a world that there is an alternative beyond the schooling system.
So, Mr. Rusty, in what ways does Noah's story reflect broader societal issues related to education and privilege?
Yeah, one thing is that getting into Havensbury Prep means you're a wealthy person or a very academically diligent person, and it builds upon. It's not like you're really being educated; you're being schooled, and you're trying to be groomed towards like the Ivy Leagues or even let's say Wall Street.
So, Mr. Rusty, what would be your advice for those people out there want to write their novels, their memoir, or their story?
What advice would I give? I would say just keep at it. I would say take a lot of walks and just be in your own imagination and from that you'll be able to get ideas.
And stop procrastinating, people. If you have the passion to write, 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 write. Who knows, you will become Mr. S.T. Tangirala, as now have 2 novels. So, what are your short-term and long-term goals in writing?
I would say short term is keep writing my next being able to publish my next book, and long term is turn those books into screenplays or into TV shows or movies or web shows.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. S.T. And how did you balance moments of adversity and triumph in Noah's journey?
Oh, is that a question?
Yes,
So how did I balance Noah's adversities and challenges?
yes.
I mean, Noah is similar to me in a way because I faced similar adversities and challenges that Noah faced in the book.
So you have this in reference to yourself.
Yeah, it's most of it is referring to my own life experience because I was not a great student. Noah was not a great student, so we both have that. And we were dealing with adversarial school like teachers back when we were young.
So, Mr. Esti, what narrative techniques did you use to employ to engage the
I,
reader?
Mostly first person. I spoke the novel in first person and just kept it focused only on Noah's, like have Noah be the anchor of the whole story. It's the same way I've done in the next book as well.
So, how does the novel's ending provide resolution to Noah's struggles and aspirations?
I mean, the ending comes down to Noah becoming a successful entrepreneur 10 years after his events at Havensbury. And that's kind of where he just, he started off at a low point in life and now he has hit a high point. So it's like you get to root for the character when he's going through all these struggles. In the end, he becomes triumphant. But if you read the second book, then now you got to start over again.
Okay. Awesome. So, Mr. Esti, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen Book 101 review on in its fifth season with my feature author of the month of January, award-winning and best-selling author, Mr. Hurry Turtle Dove. And of course, this coming February, because after one day, February is in, my feature author of the month of February, she is award-winning and best-selling author. So please tune in and please do watch us, listen to us in any podcast platform. So, what message does Havensbury convey about power of mentorship and self-discovery?
Yeah, mentorship exists in all forms, and you can't just simply go find a mentor. Mentors come to you, and if once you're ready to be able to listen to the mentor, you'll be able to get all the valuable information you need to become successful. And this is why I put a homeless person as a mentor, because I remember my experience when I was like years ago. I was sitting on the steps of outside my university, and I came across a homeless person, and this guy was giving me more valuable piece of advice than most professors have given me.
Mr. S.D. Tangirala, thank you so much for sharing your novels to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support all your books?
Yeah, you're all welcome to purchase Havensbury, and yeah, get on if you want. If you need an idea of a Dead Poet Society kind of story, just read Havensbury.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. S.D. Tangirala because if you support him, more novels to come. Who knows, become more award-winning and best-selling author. So, Mr. S.D., thank you for your time.
All right, thank you, Daniel.
More to come, people. See you soon.